Digital badges are taking over LinkedIn, email signatures, course platforms, and community spaces. They're everywhere right now, and for good reason. They're visual, they're shareable, and they're one of the best ways to recognize skills and achievements in 2026. The problem is, if you're a training provider, course creator, or even a university, how do you actually do this at scale without compromising the experience? Every badge should feel personal, like a genuine recognition of what someone's achieved. And that's where most people get stuck. You end up with 10 tabs open, jumping between Canva and spreadsheets and email tools, and it just takes forever. Now, I've been testing out a platform called Certifier, and honestly, it might be the best digital badge and certificate platform I've come across. In this video, I'm going to give you a full walkthrough, show you exactly how it works and whether it's worth it for your use case. And spoiler alert, they do have a free plan, which gives you 250 badges, no time limit, so you can try everything out I'm about to show you without actually spending $1. The link is in the description below so you can check it out. Alright, let's dive in. Now, Certifier handles both certificates and digital badges, but I'm giving badges extra attention because they're incredibly versatile. Individual skills, workshop attendance, community achievements, event participation, and micro credentials. If there's an achievement worth recognizing, then there's a badge for it. And here's the thing. Every badge that someone shares on LinkedIn or social media is actually free marketing for your brand. It's just real value for both sides. So let's look at how Certifier handles all of this. The first thing you'll notice when you land inside of Certifier is the design builder. And this is where you're going to spend most of your time when you're setting things up. All your existing designs live here, so badges and certificates you've already created are easy to find and you can come back to them. When you're ready to make a new one, you hit create design and you'll immediately met with over 2,000 pre-built templates, covering both digital badges, but also certificates as well. Now, what's worth mentioning here is that all of these designs are SVG based. That means no matter what size the certificate or badge gets displayed or printed at, it stays perfectly sharp and they're so easy to edit. No pixelation, no quality loss, it just scales. That's actually a bigger deal than it sounds, especially when receipts are sharing these on LinkedIn or downloading them. Once you pick a template, the editor opens up and it's very intuitive. Think Canva, but built specifically for credentials. You can click on any element and change the colors, swap out icons, edit text, and adjust font sizes. And even if your brand uses a specific font, you can upload your own custom font directly in here. On the left-hand side panel, you've got everything you need. You can upload your own logo or images, access a full library of elements like shapes, lines, ribbons, and icons. And if you'd rather start from a blank canvas entirely, you can do that too, using the base templates. Now, here's where it gets really powerful. And this is one of the features that really sets Certifier apart. You've got something called dynamic attributes. And these are the fields that are highlighted. And what they do is auto-populate for each individual receipt when you send. So things like the receipt's name, the issue date, a unique credential ID, you design it once and Certifier personalize it for every single person in your batch. You could be sending to 10 people or 10,000 and the process is exactly the same. You can also preview exactly how the digital badge will look for a specific receipt before anything goes out, so you can catch any issues before they do. And finally, you can drop a QR code directly into your design. That QR code links to a live verification page, so anyone who receives a certificate or a digital badge and wants to prove it's legit, an employer or a client or whoever, they can just scan it and it can instantly confirm that it's genuine. So in short, you can design it once, it personalizes itself, and every certificate comes with built-in verification. Once your design is ready, the next step is groups. And this is where you'll connect your digital badge to an actual course or program or event. Each group you create gets a name and you assign it a design from whatever design you built in the design builder. But a group is more than just a design container. You can fill it out with all the details that matter, the type of credential, how long the program runs, whether it's free or it's paid, a description, and a link to the course or event itself. There are also advanced settings in here for things like expiry dates, PDF attachments, and LinkedIn sharing options, but I'll come to some of those shortly. What this means in practice is when someone receives their digital badge and scans that QR code, they're not just seeing a nice looking image. They land on a fully branded credential page that shows who issued it, a description of what they earned, and the skills it covers, and live verification. It looks so professional, which matters a lot if your receipts are going to be sharing these with employers or adding them to their LinkedIn profile. So the group is really the backbone of each credential you issue. It ties the design to the details, and it's what makes the whole thing credible on the other end. So at this point, you've got your design built and it's attached to a group. Now let's talk about how it actually gets delivered, because the email experience is something Certifier lets you take full ownership of. So the first thing you're going to want to do is really set up your branding so you can customize the background color, the body color, the button colors, font dividers. All of it can be tweaked to match your brand so the email feels like it came from you and not from a third-party platform that the has never heard of. That's really a small detail that makes a big difference to how professional everything comes across. From here, you can build out your actual email templates. Certifier has system templates that work automatically out the box, but you can create your own from scratch. You're in control of the subject line, the body copy, all the content, and again, you can pull in those dynamic attributes here too. So the email personalizes itself for each receipt, just like the certificate and the digital badges do. What's also really useful is that it's not just about the initial delivery email. You can set up additional automated templates for like expiration reminders or expired credential notifications. So if your digital badges have an expiry date, the follow-up communication takes care of itself without having to do anything. And finally, you configure your own sending details. So the email goes out under your own name and email address with CC and BCC options if you need them. The whole thing is really set up so your receipts never feel like they're receiving something from a generic bulk sender. Now for the part where it all comes together, actually issuing the credentials. And this is really where Certifier saves you a serious amount of time. When you go to issue, you've actually got two options, or well maybe three, because you can automate it as well. But I'll get to that in a second. You can add receipts manually one by one, which is useful for smaller batches, or you can upload a spreadsheet and do everything in one go. Either way, you start by selecting your group you've set up, so Certifier already knows which design and which details to attach to each credential. Now, if you're doing it manually, you just need to fill in the details that you've already mapped in your design. So say the receipt's name and any custom attributes that you've added, and that's it. If you're uploading a spreadsheet, you'll map your columns to the right fields and Certifier handles the rest, personalizing every single digital badge for every person in that list automatically. Before anything gets sent, you can hit preview and see exactly what each receipt is going to receive. You can check how the credentials look with their specific details filled in, see the URL that they're directed to, and even preview the actual email that they'll get. So there's really no surprises. Everything looks exactly as expected before it goes out. And once you're happy, you can issue it immediately or schedule it for a specific date and time if you'd rather it coincide with a course completion date or an event. It's a really clean process from start to finish. And whether you're sending to 5 people or 5,000, the amount of effort on your end is pretty much the same. So everything we've looked at so far is already pretty streamlined. But this is where Certifier really starts to scale with you, and that's the integrations. The idea here is that you shouldn't have to manually trigger a credential to send every time someone completes a course or fills in a form. Certifier connects directly with the tools you're probably already using, from Google Sheets to Google Forms to HubSpot, Kajabi, Microsoft Excel, Jotform, and so many more. And they're all available natively inside the platform. You can see them all right there in the integrations library. If you click into one, say Google Sheets, you get a setup guide and a set of pre-built automation templates that do most of the heavy lifting for you. All you'd need to do is say connect your Google account, point it to the right spreadsheet, map your columns, and tell it which credential to issue. And that is it. From that point on, whenever a new row is added to that sheet, Certifier automatically issues and delivers the credential. No manual steps, no CSV uploads, it just runs. And if you need to connect something that isn't listed natively, you've got Zapier and Make, which opens up the door to over 5,000 additional apps. And for teams with more specific needs, there's actually a full API available too. The bottom line is that once this is set up, the whole process becomes hands-off. Someone completes a course, fills in a form, or hits whatever trigger you've defined, and their credential goes out automatically. That's a genuinely powerful thing to have running in the background. So here's a small feature that's actually going to save you from a lot of headaches, and that's actually real-time editing. So once you issue a credential, it's not locked. If you spot a mistake or say you've spelt a receipt's name wrong, you can just come into that credential, make the change, hit save, and it updates instantly on their end. It's the same link and it's the same credential, it's just corrected. No need to generate a new one, no need to resend anything. It just formats and fixes itself. And that might sound like a small thing, but when you're issuing credentials at scale, mistakes happen. And the fact that you can correct them without any disruption to the receipt is genuinely useful. They'll never know there was an error in the first place unless they message you, but then you can just correct it. You also have the option to resend the email if you want the receipt to be notified, and you can pull up and view at any point to see exactly what they're looking at on their end. It feels like a simple feature, but it shows that Certifier has really thought about what happens after the send, not just before it. So one of the things that makes Certifier stand out is how much control that you have over the full experience. And that really all starts in the account settings. In here, you can set everything up under your own brand. Your issuer name, your logo, your banner, your social links, your website, even a custom footer slogan. Every touch point your receipts see can carry your identity rather than just a generic platform name. And that actually goes even further with the custom domain option. You can white label Certifier completely, hosting all of your credential pages under your own URL. So nowhere in the entire experience does the word Certifier appear. Not in the links, not on the pages, not anywhere. So what this means for your receipt is that from the moment they receive the email all the way through to landing on their credential page, sharing it on LinkedIn or downloading it, or sending the verification link to an employer, it all looks and feels like something that you've built. Your logo, your branding, and your own domain. And none of this requires the receipt to create an account or log in. They just click the link and everything is right there waiting for them. It's the kind of detail that makes your credentials feel genuinely premium. And for anyone running a training program, a professional body, or any kind of certification, that impression really does matter. Now, the last thing I want to show you is actually the analytics dashboard, because once you're issuing credentials at scale, it's actually really useful to know what's actually happening with them. So the dashboard gives you real-time tracking across everything. You can see how many credentials have been issued, how many have been opened and shared, and also downloaded as PDFs. And it's all laid out in a clear graph so you can see trends over the last 12 months at a glance. There's also a dedicated LinkedIn performance section, which is actually a nice touch given how much of the value of a digital credential comes from people sharing it publicly. Below that, you can see the most recently issued credentials, their current status, and when they went out. You can also see which of your programs or events is generating the most engagement, which is genuinely useful if you're running multiple courses or certifications and want to understand where the interest is. It's a clean, straightforward dashboard, but it gives you everything you need to see that your credentials are actually landing and doing their job. So let's talk about pricing, because this is actually one of the more refreshing things about Certifier. And you can get started for completely free. Now, the free plan gives you 250 credentials with no expiry, no hidden catch, and actually everything stays hosted. It's genuinely a useful amount to get up and running and see if it's going to work before you start sending anything. And when you're ready to scale up, the pay plans are very straightforward. Monthly billing starts at say $79, which gives you around 1,000 credentials, and it scales up from there. If you go say annually, you'll actually save 15%, bringing it down to $67 a month. The pricing is all laid out transparently on their website, so there's actually no surprises. And if you're on the fence, there is a 30-day money back guarantee as well. So there's really no risk for trying it out for free. The link is in the description to get started, so you can check that out. I would say go ahead and try the free plan and see what you think. So that's Certifier. Design, issue, brand, and verify digital badges and certificates all in one place. And it's honestly the best option I've found. The free plan gives you 250 credentials at no cost, hosted forever. So I would try it out for free, and the link is in the description.